GT7 1.43, aka the February update, of course brought with it a handful of new motor swaps, 5 in particular again this time around. So to jump straight into what the new ones are, the first one is interesting. I feel like it's a reference that I'm probably not getting. I don't follow Drift in real life, so I feel like it could be a reference to something in there, but it is of course another version of the R35, this time the 2017 GTR Premium. The engine swap is interesting because it's an LS7 from the Subaru BRZ drift car, so a hell of a lot of power, pretty damn big engine as well by GTR standards. I don't know what this is perhaps referencing though, because a lot of these engine swaps are references to certain drift builds or builds in general, especially with the Japanese stuff. So I'd be curious if anyone could tell me what that is probably a reference to. I would imagine or guess some kind of Formula Drift kind of machine probably, but a huge amount of power either way if you do decide to go for it. The next one is probably the highlight for most people. Certainly I'm planning to get a lot of fun out of this one. I have fitted it already, I haven't driven it yet, but I have fully upgraded it to nearly 400 horsepower, the Suzuki Jimny. Of course, with the Jimny itself arriving fairly recently, the K14C Suzuki Swift engine, it doesn't initially seem like that much of an upgrade, especially if, as I did, you go from a fully tuned Jimny engine into the initially standard Swift engine. It's actually about the same in terms of horsepower, and if I recall, I think it adds a little bit of weight as well. So once you upgrade it, of course, that's where the real difference comes in. And in fact, it almost feels like a mini version of the Mitsubishi Rally Raid cars that we used to have in the series, which I know definitely had their fans. Following on from that, we have a trio of Toyota motor swaps. First up for the GR Corolla, kind of a strange choice of swap though, a 2JZ engine. The, of course, iconic Supra engine, plenty of horsepower, that's for sure. You can get it over 800 horses comfortably, which in the already fantastic GR platform, I guess is a fairly obvious choice to fit if you want crazy performance. For me, I don't know if I'll actually bother doing that. Maybe if I end up doing some kind of Pikes Peak build, but beyond that, I kind of just like this Special Projects build that I already did, which you can see the livery for here, more of the modern WRC spec. But sure, if you want crazy horsepower in an already fantastic platform, then go for it. The next one, moving on to a different Toyota engine, is to mirror another recent one, of course the Corolla, this time the Sprinter from 1983 with the 3S GTE MR2 engine. Again, nice power hike, I guess, for those who love using the 86 as a drift car. It's kind of famous for already being a damn good drift car anyway, but sure, I guess if you wanted to go for it. And again, I'm sure that's a reference to a vehicle that I'm not familiar with. And to round out this selection of 5 motor swaps, we're returning once again to the coveted world of the 2JZ swap with another Supra. This time, the late 80s Supra finally has that motor swap, the 1988 shape in particular, with the 2JZ GTE Supra engine. So once again, an 800 horsepower plus monster. That one I could definitely see being a bit of a beast for top speed, maybe not quite on the level as something like the S13 Silvia with the crazy motor swap, certainly not, or at least I wouldn't have thought on the same level as something like a Chiron swap, but then again it is Gran Turismo, and stuff like Supras and Skylines do tend to be a bit crazy when it comes to their performance. Ultimately, that's it for these 5 though in 1.43. Of course, we expect more to be added next month, or in other words, whenever the update is. But if you have found any of these swaps to be particularly useful for something, maybe a certain event, or maybe it unleashes a crazy amount of potential from one of these vehicles, then of course drop that down below. And of course, stick around for more of these updates to the master list and these smaller videos in future on the channel. But for now, thanks for watching.